All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Jerome Maldonado, and it's Real Talk on Real Estate. It's Wednesday morning. We changed the time on you guys because I had to travel yesterday, and we had a lot of stuff to get done over in Arizona. I'm excited because we're breaking ground. We are actually in the heat of demolition now for our Phoenix Metro project, and so what we underwrote at one point in time is going to be financially more lucrative if the market continues, and I think it will. I think we're going to see some market dips over the next year or two in certain sectors. But in regards to multifamily and housing and so forth, there's still going to be a massive, massive need. So we're not talking about that today. What we're talking about is how to stay motivated in the holiday season. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and everybody is sitting back, getting ready to be able to eat and feast and come in and take advantage of the good food and all the goodwill that happens during holiday season, right? And so as mom and dad are cooking, grandma and grandpa are cooking, as your wives and family are sitting back and cooking, and for those of you guys who are blessed enough to have family, you're sitting back just wondering how good that those mashed potatoes and gravy and that turkey is going to be for Thanksgiving dinner. Now, look, I love all of the same things, but I'll tell you, at a very young age, I was working at a grocery store, and I knew that if I worked at the grocery store on holidays, I got double pay. So when I was 16 years old, what I always did is I always wanted the early shift, and I wanted to work all day. And I would work all day. I would take a 1 hour lunch. I would run down to my aunt's house. I would get some turkey dinner, and I'd run back to work. Grocery store closed at 4 o'clock, so I still had the rest of the evening, and I never missed a beat. And it was always more lucrative for me during Thanksgiving. But most of you guys are sitting back who are following us, and you're aspiring to be entrepreneurs. You're already entrepreneurs. You guys are in the real estate industry, wanting to be in the real estate industry. And for those of you guys who already are, you're sitting back going, how do I stay motivated during the holiday season? How do I earn the biggest paychecks? Well, I remember back in 1994, I remember sitting down with one of my mentors. And when I was in direct sales and network marketing, one of the big things that he told me is he said, Jerome, he said, most people, and it wasn't just the holidays. He told me this about everything that I was doing across the board. He said, most people are really lazy, Jerome. He said, most people don't really, they want to be wealthy. They aspire to do good things, but they never do what it takes. And the difference between those who are motivated and really, really aspire to get wealthy and really do make it happen is this difference right here. He said, Jerome, when everybody else takes off for lunch, if you're in sales, you're self-employed, he said, don't leave for lunch. He said, when the phones ring, because we were in sales offices, he said, let them call their phone ring, then the next phone ring, then the next phone ring. You'll be the only one in the office. You pick up the phone and you answer the call. So as it went through everybody else's phones first, you were the first to answer because everybody else went to lunch. You were the first one in the office. You ever heard the early bird gets the worm? The early bird always gets the first worm, and then you just continue throughout the day. And I'll tell you that I was always the last one to leave. So there's meaning to that. Like some people sit back and go, don't grind. And I'm not, as I've gotten older, more mature, I'll tell you guys, it isn't that you get softer, you get smarter, wiser, right? You know, when you're young, beat yourself up a little bit, but don't beat yourself up that it becomes unhealthy. But I worked hard. And even now, I'll tell you guys, I'll outwork just about anybody, but I'm smart about how I do it to reduce my stress levels. You don't kill yourself, right? So this isn't about going out, working so hard that you beat the hell out of yourself and you kill yourself. This is about going out and working diligently so that you're efficient as you move through the holiday season. So when most people sit back, and what happens is a week ago, most people say it's holiday season, and I've already started receiving voicemails when I call people and say, hey, I left on November, what is the date there? I have a calendar right here. So I left on November the 19th, and I'll see you guys on December 9th, And so I've never done that. I've never sat back and said, hey, I'm checking out for 3 weeks. I'm checking out for 2 weeks. I'm checking out for an entire week. And if I do, people don't know that I've checked out because I've always answered the most important calls. So I never change my voicemail. I always make sure my voicemail stays the same. That way, if I'm on a ride with my kids at an amusement park or in Disneyland or sitting down having family dinner, I get their voice message. But then when I have a moment, I call I call people back immediately to be able to facilitate business, right? And so what I've been doing is I get ready for the holiday season. I've been pre-warning all of our sales staff. I've been pre-warning all of my business partners and say, look, everybody checks out during the holiday season. I've always received my largest paychecks in February and March of the prior year. And the reason why isn't because I worked hard in February or March. I work hard in those times too. But typically you're 60 days away from your paycheck. Okay. So for those of you guys who are in business and sales, what you do today is going to be an exact result of what your paycheck is in 60 days from now. And so if you take your foot off the pedal today, you're going to be fine getting through the holidays. And what happens is when it comes February, you're sitting back scrambling, trying to work your ass off to catch up for lost time. Now, I'll take my ski trips. I promise I'll be on the mountain. You're going to see me with my hat on. You're going to see me out there. You're going to see me out there hitting the mountain on my snowboard, and I'm going to be out there enjoying some of my time. But the difference is that when I'm in the office, or when I'm even out of the office, I have what's called a smartphone, and I utilize it and I get back to people. And I make sure that I'm being very diligent. So here's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. I got projects coming out of the ground. If you guys didn't see some of my lives that I did yesterday, I was actually over in Phoenix. Spent all weekend down at Thrive, working with Cole Hatter and Cody Sperber and these guys, and flew back in on Sunday late evening. Okay. Got back Sunday late evening, went back to the office on Monday. I facilitated a full day in the office, making sure I was caught up. I was organized, answering emails, phone calls, returning calls, and just making sure things were good. 5 o'clock in the morning, I was on my way down to the airport, and I was on my way to Phoenix, arrived in Phoenix, 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Shot out and had meetings back to back all the way until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Even had an opportunity to go by Cody's office, pick up a couple t-shirts, hang out, talk for a few minutes, and then roll out to the airport in time enough to pick up my son from gymnastics, take him to basketball, worked on some phone calls and follow-ups while he's in basketball, pick him up from basketball and head home, and we were able to eat dinner. So all in all, a very productive day. Now, today, same thing. I've already been on the phone with all my engineers, and I've talked to people. I have business partners and stuff, and I've called them. They say, well, everybody's checked out. So what happens is most people sit back and they go, okay, well, everybody's checked out. I'm going to check out too. So I don't do that. I understand what I have going, and I have goals for next year, and I have big goals for next year. I want to do $100 million of real estate transactions in development for the year of 2022. Well, how do I do that? Well, I got to put my ass to work now, because if I wait until January 1st to say, okay, boom, the clock is running, the time is now, then I waste 60 days, because my paycheck is a reflection of what 60 days from now is what I do today. So I've been working on last year for actually the last 90 days. And so I have actually 120 days to parlay my 2023. And so while most people are going out there and they're actually taking vacations, and they're taking complete vacations. And it blows my mind, because I don't know. And you guys can say this how you guys want. You guys can see this how you guys want to. But some people, when they check out, they just completely check out. And for the last 26 years, there's a lot of there's doers and there's dreamers. And there's people that dream to do, and then there's people that actually do. And what I've learned and what I've found over the years is that 90% of people are full of shit. Okay. And what I mean by that is they talk a big game. They have a fancy car. They're out there. Telling people that they're doing certain things. I was over at Thrive. I talked to a ton of people over at Thrive this past weekend, and everybody's successful. You talk to anybody there, you sit down with them, they're a badass in whatever they do. They're wealthy. They've all done well. Right. And so I sit back and I evaluate people. I just sit back and I don't prejudge anybody. I just look back and I say, okay, I do a collective evaluation of what everybody has going on. And then those that I think have things that are going on, I do an outreach to them, because I want to be able to partner with them, talk to them, collaborate with them. And then what I end up finding out is that most people that I think have things going on, maybe 5% of them really do. So if I do an outreach to about 50 people, 1 or 2 of them will end up really having things going on. The rest of them are full of the pie in the sky effect. I call them the quacky crackers. People that talk and they're quacky and oh yeah, I got all this and that going on, and I'm a business entrepreneur badass. I'm a real estate badass. And then you get to know them, and they actually have absolutely nothing going on. Everything that they talk about has to do with somebody else. Oh, well, actually, that's a partnership I have with my cousin, but my cousin actually really does that, and I actually own 0 of it, right? I'm just the guy that's helping my cousin in consulting or whatever it is, and they take claim to fame to projects that don't exist and aren't really theirs. And so for the small few, here's the difference, okay? What my mentor told me years ago is, he said, people shut it off during the holiday season. This is where you work the hardest, because while your competitors are sleeping, you're working. Okay. And so what ends up happening is, well, everybody else takes a sabbatical for the whole month of November and December, because they may not take a full physical sabbatical, but they take a mental sabbatical. And so what ends up happening is they just shut down for 2 months. And so the 2 months that they shut down, I sit down and I focus on just getting things done. And I just drive and propel business, drive and propel business, drive and propel business. And so it isn't like I'm sitting there beating myself up. Look, I'm sitting here with you guys today, right now, taking the time to educate you guys. I'm not pounding my phone. But if you go into my phone and you look at what I've done this morning, look how many phone calls. More impressive than my phone call is my emails. But since this morning, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys look at this, I've already had, it's 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 calls in the last couple hours. 18 calls in the morning. How many calls have you guys done today already by 8 o'clock in the morning? It's 9 o'clock my time, so I'm cheating a little bit, right? It's 8 o'clock Pacific time, but that's how many phone calls I've already sent out. Now, if I go to my set mail, and I did most of this right from my living room, sitting down, eating breakfast. So it wasn't as if I was sitting down doing a ton of stuff. So my sent mails, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sent emails this morning already on my follow-ups. And so understand that when you get up, one of the biggest things that you do is you get up and you just facilitate business. Now, I even had a partner call me this morning and they said, hey, Jerome, these guys have already checked out for the weekend. And I said, how have all you guys checked out and we're doing business? I'm getting reply emails. And yes, with the exception, there's a few people, but you got to know how to get a hold of people. So what I do is I prepare. I get ground lines, office lines, cell phone lines, and I make sure that I have contact with people, their emails, some way, somehow. Even if they've checked out, went on a sabbatical, I'm going to get a hold of them. And I'm going to push them through the rat race of the holidays. Now, for those of you guys who just check out and you guys leave for the holidays, you're going to have 60 days of nothing. For those of us who facilitate business, we're going to have 60 days of plentiful paychecks. Now, I know that we're working with a lot of people. For those of you guys who are following our content, you're sitting back and you're going, look, Jerome, I want to buy land. I want to build houses. I want to get into real estate investing. I want to be able to do some of what you guys are doing to create wealth. And so I sit back and I say, look, if you want to create wealth, it's very simple. And so I do a comparison model. And this is one thing that I'll ask you right now. Is sit down collectively right now and ask yourself, how many hours this week? And be honest to yourself, because you can lie to everybody. You could sit back and go, oh yeah, I only spent 1 hour on watching television this week. How many hours collectively over the last 7 days? So if you take today's Wednesday, if you go back yesterday, Monday Night Football, Sunday Football, Saturday, then you go to Friday, you watch all your sitcoms, all your 90 Day Fiance and all your other TV programs that everybody watches, all that stuff, all that junk they put in their brain, the news, the morning news, the 10 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, CNBC and all the other garbage out there. How much collectively have you put into your mind as far as television? Or streaming online, just watching garbage, nothing that's productive, but just garbage, just stuff that you're sitting back laughing at chronicles or anything or posts that are on your phone. Think about it collectively and sit down for a second and think about this and just ask yourself how much time, and be honest with yourself, get a piece of paper out and sit down and go, okay. And I'll sit down and I'll look at it. And I'm not talking about the time where you're working, your kids are watching television. How much time have you spent watching television this week? Okay. And so you sit down and you write that out and you go, and if you sit down, you log it, you'll be surprised how much time you actually spend doing unproductive things. Now, I understand for a lot of people, it's their way that they check out and they relax. But look I'm not telling you guys to be me, but I'm going to tell you what works. When I was hyper-focused on creating wealth, when I was hyper-focused on making sure that my paycheck was in the bank, I didn't worry about television. I didn't worry about the radio. What I worried about is what I was putting in my brain and what was coming out of my mouth and how many people I was talking to, how my follow-ups were being facilitated and what we were doing. And so I'll tell you that if you've put more time into watching television and less time into what you're doing to create wealth and what you're doing to create financial freedom in your life, what you're doing to create a paycheck in 60 days from now, then ladies and gentlemen, you failed yourself in what you're doing and where you're going to go. And so what I always tell people is don't fail yourself in what you're doing by watching television and things that are unproductive. Spend time with your family and enjoy your family, but focus on organizing what you need to do. Okay. And only you know what your goals are. But I know that I have projects coming out of the ground. And so, for example, I'll give you an example. We have our Phoenix project that's coming out of the ground right now. And then we also have our stuff going on in Port Orchard, Washington. And we have some stuff going on in Kirtland, Washington. And we have some stuff going on in Palm Springs, California. And we have stuff going on here in the Albuquerque market. And so one of the things that I've done is I want to make sure that everybody, all the workers that are outside of my, all the work that's outside of my hand, not workers, but just work in general, that's outside of my hand. I want you guys to understand that those people need motivation, because if you're silent to them and you assume that they're taking care of work, you'll be mistakenly disappointed when you go in and follow up with them 2 weeks later to find out that they've done absolutely nothing. And so architects, engineers, subcontractors, contractors, whoever they are, suppliers, you're going to be surprised that most people, they just want to make a living, and making a living is fine. I don't want to make a living though. If you want to make a living, that's fine. Just close this now. This is not for you. This is for people that are watching, that want to go out and create more in their life. They want to create an abundance in their life. They want to have generational wealth, or even just be a better lifestyle. And forget about the generational wealth. If you're somebody who's sitting back and you're going, you know what? I just need to create wealth in my life, Jerome. I need to create a difference in my life where I go out. I want to make an extra $100,000 this year, working part-time, 10 hours a week, buying land and building houses. And so I ask people this. I sit back and I go, okay, you're buying land, you're building houses. And I'll get emails sometimes from people that I'm helping. And they'll sit back and say, hey, Jerome, do you have a design for me? And I'll send them a design. I'll say, hey, can you send me the full set? And I'll tell them, look, there's an architect you're hiring. That's their job. Here's the design. Have the architect do their job. And then they'll wait for me to follow up with them to do their job for them. And what happens, I sit back and go, how many people did you outreach to try to facilitate this on your own? Because when I go to Google and I say architects in California, architects in Salt Lake City, architects in Albuquerque, architects in Phoenix, architects, residential architects in whatever city, guess what happens? Google populates all of those people. And so what I do is I don't wait for people. I'm a doer. So there's doers and there's people that do nothing. And so for you doers out there, you sit back, you don't wait for people to tell you what to do or wait for people to get their stuff done. You tell people what to do, when you need it done, and you follow up with them on their smartphone, and you get it, you take action. And if people aren't taking action, you go to the next one. Because some will facilitate business with you. Some won't facilitate business with you. So what? Next. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Some will work, some won't work. So what? Who cares? Those that don't, forget them. Throw them by the wayside. Go to the next one. Those that will, awesome. Put them to work, get onto your next task, and continue moving. So some will, some won't. So what? Keep moving. Next. And you keep moving through it. So I do a spreadsheet for every project. I sent a spreadsheet out to Dave on one of our Palm Springs project. And I told him, look, here's all the subcontractors. Let's start plucking through this. You put all your contacts on there, and we have a collaboration of both contacts. Then we'll start facilitating phone calls, getting bids and estimates, and let's drive these guys forward. I don't wait for someone to say, hey, I'm on vacation during the holidays. Sorry, so bad. I got to keep moving. So I just keep plummeting forward through the holidays, and I make sure that I have business being facilitated with those who want to do business and are working. And so with my Phoenix Youngtown project, one of the things that we've done right now is I've been on the phone with my architects, and I over communicate. So I'll send out text messages. I'll say, hey, Jared, we got this, and this. I just sent you an email too. Boom. Then I'll send the same thing over to my general contractor. I'll forward it and say forward. Hey, Scott, FYI, just sent this to Jared. Make sure you follow up on this. Boom. Then if it's an engineer, I'll forward and text it over to them too. Then I'll get on an email, CC everybody in that email and say, hey, whoever I'm talking to, and I'll tell them, hey, I'll say, hey, Jared, we're waiting for structural engineering. Jim's telling me structural engineering's done. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll include Jim, Scott, everybody, my business partners, myself, everybody's in that email. And then boom, I'll hit send. And one time I follow up with 5 people, one email. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows what's going on. If an engineer tells me, look, I can't facilitate my business because your structural engineer hasn't, or your mechanical engineer hasn't given me information for air conditioners and water heaters. I'll say, oh, okay. So I'll put an email together, putting him in there, all my partners, the general contractor, the architect, and everybody in that email. And I'll type out one email and say, hey, Jim. So Tony tells me that we don't have water heater specs and he's waiting on you. And so we're wondering when we can expect that. My expectation is that it would have been done yesterday. So we're expecting it today. What time today can you get this out? Boom, send. And now everybody, there's accountability because I have everybody in there. I was just facilitating one of my architects that we had paid over or actually an engineer over in Washington State, went silent on us. They were trying to poach us for a couple $1,000s more to expedite our engineering. At the time, 2 months ago, we weren't in a need to expedite service. Now we're in a need to expedite service, but our expectations were 30 days based on what they had told us. So we sat back, and to hold accountability, I put him in the email. I put all my general contractors in the email, and I also put my attorney in the email. And FYI, by the way, I put my attorney highest up so he sees that I CC'd my attorney in there saying, hey, you've been paid. We're expecting this. Please don't make us go to a new level to be able to facilitate business with you guys and get what we need from you. We've already paid you. Please make sure that you get that back to us today. Okay. And so everything's about accountability and follow-up. You'd be surprised that even if people check out and you don't, how much work you can get done with just simple emails. And so while I'm driving out to the ski slopes and I'm on the open road, my family's watching a movie on the back of the car while we're driving out to the open slopes in Breckenridge or Vail or wherever we're going, Daddy's on the phone just sending out emails, voice to text. So if you guys ever get a jacked up email or text from me, it's because that's what I'm doing. I'm driving and I'm following up on voice to text. And then I'll even sit back and I'll do the whole message and I'll tell my wife, here, can you do me a favor and just edit that for me really quick? And I'll just have her edit it for me real quick. And then bam, I'll send it off. And that's how you facilitate business during the holidays. I'm still with my wife. We're talking, we're communicating. And then, she gets involved in what we're doing because she's going back. She'll ask questions about it and I'll sit back and I'll be following them and say, look, these guys need to get this done, that done, this done. And then we communicate with each other. We're talking, we're involved with each other. We're engaged. The kids are maybe watching a movie, but then when we get there, I sit back and say, okay, guys, phone's done. Daddy's work is all finished up. Let's hit the slopes. We'll strap on our boots. We'll put on our skis and snowboards and we'll head out to the lift and all business is done. Then a few hours later, I come back, we eat lunch. We're eating lunch. I sit back, I check my emails. I just answer some stuff that's really important. The stuff that's not important, you got to have levels of importancy in everything that you do. So there are some things that are priority, like you cannot let them pass you by, because if you do, you have a full slew of people that are accounting on something for the next week or the next day or whatever it is. And if you drop the ball, that's your first priority. You want to make sure that your first priority stuff, you just hit it real quick. Guess how many first priority things you'll have out of all that stuff? 1, 2, maybe 3 things. So how long does it take you to address 1, 2, maybe 3 things? 15 minutes? So I do it on level of importance. Then I'll see some stuff, I'll star it and I'll say, okay, I need to go in and I need to make sure that I facilitate a response to this. I'll star it, but it's not important right now. It's the holidays. They know that everybody's checked out for the holiday. I'll address that on Monday or Saturday, whatever. And sometimes before Monday, I'll have a few minutes. I'll just jump on the phone and say, hey, I stopped by the office. Where is the office? The office might be right here. This is one of my offices. And say, hey, my office, my truck is my office, right? My office at my office is my office. Or like Cody said yesterday, Jerome, if you're ever in Phoenix and you just need a place to come in and work out of, well, you're here. I got 16,000 square feet. Jerome, take an office, come in and do some work. Do whatever you need. My office is your office. So my office might be Cody's office. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'll sit back and say, hey, I stepped in on a Saturday just to take care of a few things. And just want to let you know I did get your email. And thank you. Really appreciate it. Let's follow up on Monday. Let's set up a time where we can get together this next week and follow up on our appointment. And so that's my second priority. And then third priority is stuff that I just send over to people in my office and say, you know what, forward. And I just put, please address Monday morning. Please make sure this is handled on Monday afternoon, and I'll just forward all that stuff over. And then what I do on Monday morning, I say, hey, I'll tell whoever it is, hey, Tammy, hey, whoever it is that's in my office, hey, do me a favor. I sent you over like 7 emails. Can you just make sure you go through all 7 of those emails, which is their job anyways, right? But I over communicate. Say, can you guys please just make sure those are addressed today? And then they'll say, I haven't heard back from them. So you know what? Put a phone call out to them as well. And also just send them a text. If it's real important, send them a text, send them an email, and send them a voice message via their telephone. Okay. And so we over communicate. And so hence, when I do that, everything when it comes together facilitates business. And so I watch stuff and I go, I know why I've been so successful in my life. It isn't because I'm the smartest, it isn't because I'm the wisest. It's because I'm the most diligent. Not the hardest worker, the most diligent. I find people say, Jerome, how do you find time to find balance? Well, balance is there if you just make the best use of your time. And so when most people are driving down the road listening to the radio, and that's all they're doing, and they're dating, I sit back and I think about who I need to follow up with, facilitate to get done. And I just simply use my voice to text. And on my vehicle, I can just do it right here off my dashboard. Just go click, click. I'll do my voice deal. And it'll turn it into a text, and then I'll hit send. And for some people, even on my voice to text, I'll say, oh, FYI on the bottom of my email, I'm using voice to text to be able to put this message together. So if it happens to just come in jacked up, I apologize. And then they understand. And with technology today, understand that that's okay because people know what you're doing. Okay, people know what you're doing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's answer a few questions here. Ronnie, thanks for joining us. Jay, thanks for joining us. I know Daniel's on there. And so let's see here. Ronnie, small potatoes, Jerome, but the last 3 years, this time of year is when I have my best. So he has his best return on deals. And so, yeah, best time to make money is right now when everybody's checking out. Right now. Jay just purchased in Joshua Tree, going to build a home myself, then sell it. Thanks for all your advice. Pow. My man, thank you. That's awesome. Kick some ass, make some money. Excited for you. Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you guys, you're going to see me do some video footage on Friday morning, Black Friday, right? I'm going to be on one of my lots. I told Alec, I said, hey, Alec, meet me up at one of the lots. Let's do it on Friday morning early so we can just have the full day, you know? Look, everybody's closed for Black Friday. You guys take note that on Black Friday, everybody is closed because not on Black Friday, sorry. On Thanksgiving, everybody's closed. They realized that last year with COVID, they don't need to open up on Thanksgiving. With the internet, ecommerce, they can kill it with Black Friday. So you guys are going to see my Black Friday deal. Oh, FY, if you guys haven't got my Black Friday deal, you need to get that. $5, not $99. I'm not doing this to make money. $5. You guys get my 14 steps. You guys also get you guys get some little training modules, my psychology to selling modules that I put together. They're little bonus modules I did. And then you get my elite real estate training. It's a hyper class, real small and short for investing, $5. For that, I think there's something else in there. I think I put like 4 things in there. So it's just super awesome. You guys can take advantage of that stuff. So opt in for that. If you guys see the ad, opt in for it. $5. It's your guys' for free. For free, $5, it's free. That's what I tell people. For $5, it's free. It costs us more to run the ads that stuff is going to. So take advantage of it. We're spending thousands of dollars in ads to give you guys a $5 promo. Take advantage of it. But ladies and gentlemen, the whole point being today is spend time with your family. Go out there, enjoy your kids, enjoy your family, but don't forget your responsibilities, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. I'm going to play football with my kids. I'm going to go see my aunt, who's like my second mom, that I love. I love dearly. I was always at my cousin's house growing up, and they're getting old. They're getting in their 80s. And I sit back and I tell my wife, we're going to watch the Cowboy game at their house. We're going to go and enjoy Thanksgiving, a second Thanksgiving after I go to my in-laws. We'll do my in-laws in the morning. We'll do my aunt's house. And then it's my dad's birthday. And then we're going to come in. My godson, my nephew's coming in with his girlfriend. And so we get it. And then we'll do dinner over there. I won't do any of the work on Thursday morning. In the morning early, I'll wake up, I'll work out, I'll get a workout in. I will check my emails real quick when I wake up at 7, 8. I'll wake up at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, pound out my workout, get on my phone while I'm on the bike for 20 minutes, just check in on some stuff, send out more messages for networking purposes and say, hey guys, I'm thinking about you. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you guys. Have a great day with your family. And I'm still working, but that's still networking, right? And then I'll go in and I'll facilitate my full day. I won't miss a beat. Friday morning, I'll get up at 8 o'clock. I'll get up early at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll be out working at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll video record for 2 hours. By 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll come back home. My kids will be dressed. They'll be brushed. They'll be fed. Everything will be ready to go. And they're self-sufficient, right? My wife will be out shopping probably with her mom. My daughter will probably be with her. My son will be ready to go. I'll get my son. We'll go out and work on his truck because we're working on a 69 Ford truck that we bought for him that we're rebuilding and re-renovating. We'll go work on that truck for a couple hours. We'll do some home projects, do some stuff together, and I'll spend the day with my son. My wife will come back. We'll go eat dinner. And ladies and gentlemen, I won't miss a beat. We'll continue working and getting stuff done. I'll answer some emails and stuff in the morning, and we'll keep working through it. And I promise that our projects will push forward into 2022 strong and collectively. And just like I did in network marketing, I just kept hitting those phones, pounding those phones straight through the holidays. Hey, this is Jerome. I know hey, happy Thanksgiving. I know that you guys, and I'll tell you guys, I would sell construction projects on Thanksgiving morning. You know why? People are home. And I wake up early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and say, hey, this is Jerome Maldonado. Sorry to bother you guys on Thanksgiving. I'm just happy to come in the office, wanting to take care of a couple things this morning. And just want to follow up with you on that project estimate that we sent over to you guys. Just want to make sure you received it. See if you guys have any questions, have any changes, or if we can help and assist you guys with scheduling. If so, give us a call back. We're going to be shutting down the office early today. I'm going to be only here for about another 45 minutes to an hour. But if not, we'll be back in the office tomorrow, Friday, Black Friday. Answer your phones and say, give us a call. We'd be happy to get you scheduled. Then they call back on Black Friday and say, perfect, we'll put you on the schedule. Then I send an email to one of the girls in my office, say, hey, put so-and-so to schedule on Monday morning. And then I'll tell them, hey, it's holiday weekend. We're working on skeleton staff, but on Monday morning, we'll get that out to you. Oh, no problem. You guys enjoy the holidays. Bam, sale closed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you facilitate business through the holidays. Just little calls like that in the interim time of when you're on the road, on the street, just in the early morning, just taking care of business. I close more business when I'm on the ski slopes. I close more business when I'm on vacation. I've always told my wife, I think I do more business. I need to ski more and I need to get out of town because I close more business when I leave the office than I do in the office. Just by doing those simple follow-up calls, just like that, I'll tell you guys that alone makes me more money. I close more business just doing follow-ups than anything else. So for those of you guys who are busting your ass, grinding, take a moment collectively to take a deep breath, figure out what you're doing, and just do one simple follow-up call every 10 minutes for 30 minutes, 3 of them. And I promise, one of those 3, look for the 3 most pronounced clients that you have and do some follow-up calls every day through the holidays. And over the next, we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Over the next 4 days, you'll have 12 follow-up calls that you've done. And I promise you'll close business and you'll close volume. And I'll challenge you guys next week to check in and see how you guys did. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, go out, enjoy your Thanksgiving, eat your fat turkey, enjoy some family time. But don't forget what your goals are. Don't forget what your focus is. Become a doer and be a doer and always be a doer. And then be a Jerome. I'm not the smartest jack out there. I promise I'm not. In fact, I'm probably least intelligent and intellectual than most people. I'll tell my wife, I don't care. She laughs at me. What was she laughing about at me last night? Because I say certain words and I say, oh, penguins. I said, it's penguins. And she goes, I go, penguins. And she goes, that's not the way you say it. And I say, sneakers. And she goes, it's a Snickers bar, not a sneakers bar. And I said, I don't care. She goes, you get on stage, you talk, you say stuff wrong. I go, I don't give a shit. I just tell people they need to get off their ass and go work. Who cares if it's penguin or penguin, envelope or envelope? Who cares if it's Snickers or sneakers? You know, who gives a shit? As long as the information is there and you know what I'm talking about, that's all that matters. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I'm wise enough to know that when people are available, hit them up, do your follow-ups, work through the holidays, get the biggest, fattest paycheck you can to kick ass in 2022, in February and March, and all the way passing through. And it all starts today. If you guys like the content, if you guys like the content and you haven't subscribed, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're notified for content just like this. Give us a thumbs up. And always remember, go out and compound your success. Enjoy your holidays, your Thanksgiving. God bless you all, and have a great one.